Hi guys, and come back. Uh, sorry. Hi guys, and welcome back. My name is Stella, and I hope everyone had a great Easter. I had a great one, and it's already night here in Quebec, Canada. It's 10:30, but I just needed to make sure that I share this before I go to sleep. So the other time I was here, I promised that I'll be coming back with the reasons why one may not have to come to Canada. So today I want to share those reasons so people should know before you make a decision what you should look at before you move. For me, these are based on my own experience. I know people have talked about many reasons why people shouldn't come here, but these are based on my own experience. So the first one for me is when you move and come here, be ready to start from scratch. You're gonna start from zero. You have nothing. Like when I was coming here, I just got my suitcase. I think I got two suitcases with some clothes and yeah, and my child, and we came. So we had nothing. And if you are to start life here, of course, you need mattress, you need a bed, you need everything that you have right now back home. But you are coming here with just your clothes. At least I did not go ahead to pack a lot of things to bring because it might also be expensive to pack. If you want to do it that way, it's going to be expensive. So I wouldn't advise because once you get used, I think things are cheaper here than buying from home and you come with them. So you need an apartment. You start from zero. You have nothing. You have to be prepared for that. For me, I was lucky when I came here. I had someone. I told you about a friend. So, like during this process, what I advise is that try to make friends. When I went for my interview in Nairobi, I met a friend who is now like a sister. She introduced me to her cousin who was living here in Montreal, and so he's the one who even picked us up from the airport. She took us to her home and we stayed there for 2 months and we paid nothing. So at least they assisted us in many ways. We didn't feel it, but I was like, if I didn't know someone, I think it would be very difficult to start. Imagine you are living, let's say Uganda or wherever you live, coming here and you don't know nobody. It's difficult, but they helped us to look for an apartment, and in that apartment, in fact, I found when they had put a bed and a mattress and even a dining set. So I had to look, and ordinary apartments here have a stove, which is a cooker. They also have a fridge, and yeah, at least you're gonna find those on there. I just had to buy those other things that I need, and in fact, they gave me plates. They gave me most of the things to start with. But I was always thinking like, what about if I didn't know these people? It would be difficult. Now, apart from that, even to get an apartment, you need someone to sign for you because here, when you are getting something like an apartment, most of the things people want to look at your credit. Remember, you are new, you haven't built any credit history, they have nothing to look at. It's gonna be maybe difficult for you to get an apartment if you don't know anyone here. They signed for us, and so we were able to get an apartment, and so life was easy. It wasn't tough. But imagine you don't know anyone. That might be tough. And now, when you come here, remember you maybe you have a degree, you have a master's or something like that. But if you come here as a permanent resident using the process that I used, they're gonna again, even before you leave, some people do it before you leave, they're gonna evaluate your studies to see where they stand in the Canadian system. Where do you like where are you according to their system? So they're gonna put you at a certain level. Of course it can't be a degree, maybe college, meaning you have to go back to school. That is also like difficult, because you had a degree or maybe you had a master's, but you're coming here and they are telling you that after evaluating your studies, maybe you are high school, maybe you are college level, something like that. But that's not a problem. At least you have to read before you come. I was ready, I was prepared. Once you come in and once you come here and you settle in, you can go back to school, you can develop yourself, and that can be corrected. They just put you at a level where they think that you are supposed to be according to the education system, because the two education systems are totally different. So they try to make sure that they put you at a level where you're supposed to be in the Canadian system. So that might be like tough if you don't know. But for me, I knew. So that's why you have to read, you have to make friends before you move. Such that some of those things don't have to affect you. And of course, you have to know your why. Why did you come? So for me, whatever that was happening at the beginning wasn't like something I had to worry about, because I knew the reason why I came here. And that was like, okay, I will settle in, I will settle in. And because of that, I was able to settle in very fast. Another thing is that it's difficult to get a job. Like if you left your country, maybe in Uganda, because I'm Ugandan, if you were a manager, you were a supervisor, you come here, you may not be able to do that same job. You may not be able to find a job like that. You have to be flexible. You have to be ready to take a lower job or an entry level job. And because you know that most of these jobs here, they need experience, and this experience they need is Canadian experience. And remember, you are new, you haven't yet worked here, you don't have the experience. So you have to accept lower jobs, such that you can get a Canadian experience to help you now get a better job that you want. And also, if you go back to school, of course, during the process, during the course, you have, before you complete, you have to go for internship. Also, that experience that you get from the internship is considered, and that can also help you to use as a experience from Canada. And so that shouldn't also worry you. You can always get the experience. There are many jobs, like you can work in a restaurant, you can go and there are many jobs you can do here without experience, that can help you get experience and then be able to get that job that you want to get. So that shouldn't scare you as well. However, you have to be prepared. Don't come and think you're going to be a manager because you've been a manager immediately. It's possible, but not for everyone. It's rare. So at least you have to get prepared for that before you leave. And then another thing is that here the weather is different. Of course, we have 4 seasons, and I don't know, back home we have like two, rainy season and dry season, and that's it. Here you're gonna have the summer, you're gonna have the fall, you're gonna have the winter, you're gonna have the spring, and all those seasons, especially the winter and the summer, are like very like tough. In the winter, it's too cold, and in the summer, it's too hot. So you have to be prepared. And I don't want you to get scared of that. For me, what I know is that these guys are very prepared for every season, and every season is beautiful. In the summer, you see people like everyone is happy because you've been missing the sun for some good time. You've been into winter, before after winter you go into spring, then summer. So every season is nice, and every season that is aware, they are prepared for it. For example, during the the, the summer, of course, it's gonna be so hot. Sometimes up to 40 degrees. It's hot. It's also hot, like you find people moving without shirts, and it's hot, like the air is dry. You feel it's burning. But of course, once it's too hot, they announce and tell you, please stay in your house. If you go out, it's up to you. But they have announced. They always give warnings that it's gonna be very hot today. You shouldn't go out or something. And if you're in the houses, um, most houses have ACs, air conditioners, and if you don't have, you can always buy, because they are available and they are not very expensive. You can get maybe at $200, 150, $300, according to what you want. Even we have fans that are like ACs, air conditioners. You can put in every room at around $50, $45 from Costco. You can find them. When they are good, you feel like, yeah, it's good. So you don't have to be worried. You don't have to be scared regarding that. And during the winter, every apartment or house has that heating system. So during the winter, the house is gonna be warm. It's gonna be normal. You won't even know unless you get out or unless you haven't heated the house properly. But everything is good, and you're not gonna get situations where you don't have power. Like it happens back home, you don't have umeme today. No, it's like I have not seen this happening at all the time I've been here. We've always had electricity every day. I don't know, sometimes it's too cold and the electricity can go off, but even if it goes off, they have to work hard to make sure that they get it back because it's gonna be so cold. You can't sleep there without electricity. It can happen, but it can't last for so long. But I haven't seen it. At least I've been lucky. I haven't seen it before. And also, you have to know that here it's very expensive, especially if you are new. You're gonna find that maybe Canada is expensive, maybe this place is expensive just because of the exchange rate. Because when you come here with this mentality that I'm gonna buy something at $10, you try to convert. When you convert, you realize that it's too much, maybe Ugandan shilling, Ugandan money, it's too much. You feel like you're spending too much on something you've been buying at a low cost back home. So I think if you come here, you have to forget about converting. I used to do that, and it would always make me feel like I don't want to buy because I think this is very expensive. But even because you are not working, you feel like you are spending too much. But when you start working, you will be able to afford all those things because when they are paying, at least they make sure that everyone there is a minimum wage. That money that you get, you'll be able to pay the rent and you'll be able to pay most of the expenses unless you're very extravagant. But in most cases, the money they pay is enough for everyone to be able to survive unless you don't know how to fit into your budget. But that's you won't feel that after some time. And also another thing that people may not want, especially back home, some people don't want credit. Some people don't want to live with credit, but here the system that it's like you have to have credit. You have to build the credit because most of the things that you're gonna buy or most of the things you need, you're going to buy on credit if you want it. Most people buy on credit. And for you to get something on credit, they have to look at your credit. So if you have nothing you've built, you may not be able to qualify to buy certain things on credit. And sometimes you may not have the cash to pay something uh, cash. For example, maybe you want to buy a house. It's very expensive for you to have the cash at a go and buy. Maybe you want to buy something. Maybe you want to buy a car. Maybe you want to buy something. It's like everything here. If you want, you can buy on credit. But of course, you have to make sure that you are able to manage the credits that you have. Don't get too much credit that you cannot. Don't spend too much that you won't be able to pay. You just have to be disciplined regarding credit because it's like your mother, your family, your everything. If you mess it up, you don't have nobody you're gonna run to and ask, give me some money. I wanna buy this. I mean, credit is very, very important. You don't have to mess it up, and it's necessary that you have to have it. So, if you don't want that system, so I think you rather stay back home. And another thing is that here Canada is too far. You sit on the plane and you sit and you feel that, oh my gosh, when are we gonna reach? You sit and sit and sit and feel like, because for us our flight was 19 hours, but still that was too long. We had only 1 hour in transit, but sometimes it is 24 hours, sometimes it is 20 hours, depending on the route you've used. So that is also another thing that might stop people from coming because it's too far. You can't afford going back home every year. And if you wanna meet your family every year, I think it's gonna be very expensive for you, and it's tiring. I wouldn't think that I would manage to fly every year. Every year, it's good, but it's far. You have to know that it's very far. Also, we have another problem: cultural differences. The cultures are totally different. When you come here, you realize that things are totally different, and especially during the summer, uh, some people think that when people put on very short things, they are being like, I don't know what to say, but it's normal because you've been seeing people putting on gomas, very long stuff, and especially some cultures don't believe in short things, and people back home when they see people dressing in short things, they think those people have bad manners or stuff like that. But here it's normal because it's too hot. Even you, once you come here, you're gonna put on those things, the short things, because it's too hot. The long things are gonna burn you. You feel like you're burning. You feel like because during the summer sometimes it can be too hot, and everybody feels like they wanna put on something that is gonna help them feel like to help the air enter, as in you may not be able to put on those very, very long things. And here, when you go out with a friend, someone may tell you, let's go out. When you go out, you are all going to pay. You are not going to leave the bill for someone who has told you, let's go. You all pay. Once you go, you have to be sure that you'll be able to pay what the things you've spent on. Back home it's different. Someone takes you out, you're gonna pay, but here it's different. If someone called you to go for lunch at their house or what, you need to take something. You don't just go without something. You take something, but all that when you've just come, you feel like it's different. It's bothering me. It's what, but that is how it is. So if you don't want to live like that, so you rather stay home. It's not major, but it's also something that I looked at and I said, oh my gosh, what's this? What's this? Will I be able to fit into this? What's this? Someone tells you, let's go out and you have to pay. A friend calls you guys, let's go out. And then when you go, you all have to pay. And like, oh, why did they call us? Why did they invite us? It's like simple, but sometimes it's like confusing. You need to know that. And another major thing is that here we have very small apartments and maybe houses, but of course we also have the very big ones. But as a new person has just come here, it's gonna be very difficult for you to afford such a big apartment or a very big house because you don't have the money. It's expensive. So if you want very big places and the space is not that big, you just have to keep what you want. You're not gonna keep things. So a child who is already in senior one, and you have a bed the child used when they were 2 months because you just wanna keep it for them, because you just wanna look at it because it was for your baby. Maybe such things are not here. You only keep what you want because we don't have the space. We have space just enough for what we have. So I find that these places have small houses or small apartments, but also they have big houses. If you have enough money, you can always rent a very big house, but why that big space? Anyway, it depends on what you want. But for us, we love the space. The space is okay. You just have to learn to keep what you want, not to keep everything, because the space is not enough. So those are some of the things that I find like a little challenging when they challenged us. They challenged me when I just come. I thought that things were abnormal, but with time you get used and everything is normal. And of course, you have to keep thinking, why did I come? You have to know your why. For me, when I look at the reasons that brought me here, these few things don't even matter to me. There are things that you can live with because even back home, we have certain things that are difficult, even more difficult than what we see here. but people live there. For me, I find that these are minor. You just have to know what to do. If it is regarding school, what am I supposed to do so that I can get the job that I want? Because everything here is possible. You can be whatever you want if you come here, if you put in the effort when you do what you're supposed to do. If you learn the system, everything becomes so easy. But at the beginning, of course, it's going to be challenging because you don't know the system. Okay, guys, thank you so much. So, what I would request that please share and like and so that you can help other people planning to come here so they can know what they can do before they come, or what they're supposed to do, or what happens here. Because for me, before I came here, I didn't know all this. I used to read, but I didn't have all this information. Let us share so we can help others. And next time I come back, I'm gonna give you the steps that one can take to start the process like the way I came here. Because like I said, I'm not an immigration consultant, but I'm just sharing this based on my experience so I can help someone who is in the process, who is planning to come here. So guys, have a great day. I hope to see you soon and good night.